I'm reading a novel that's lent to me by James, actually, my teacher James Kirby. It's called An Equal Music by Vikram Seth.
Oh, yes.
Have you read
I
it?
think I have.
Yes. I'm not sure if you remember. There's a line in the first. I
Is
think
it to do with a quartet?
that's right. Yes. And there was a line in the first few chapters that really caught my attention. They were rehearsing with their quartet. I think it must have been Haydn because the quote was referenced to Haydn. And it said, "We all love Haydn. Haydn makes us love each other." Has music ever brought you closer with someone, or started a friendship? Your mutual love of music, of the same type of music.
This is a very, very important question. Um, this is a really, I really need to
Yes.
think about that. I mean, I have found sharing music very difficult. But this is, I can share it in teaching. I think more than any other way, because I'm paid to share it, as it were. But it's not as simple as that. I'm at some level I'm embarrassed by sharing music. It's so private. I I have a long conversation with my wife. We have, she loves listening to music at a certain time of day, with a drink at 6 o'clock in the evening. I don't. That's the time I absolutely don't want to. So there's a little conflict on that one, and sitting down and listening to music. So I would put on a record for a student, where I would not put a record down on for myself. Now, does that answer your question? In a way, I'm much more comfortable sharing in that way, and yes, I suppose it does bring me closer. But there is you've touched on something with regard to me, which is a bit unresolved. You see, my love of Gregorian chant, for example, that has brought me close to monastic communities in a very particular, and I would say very profound way. And there are some students who have worked at pieces that we both. It's really thrillingly exciting because they respond in exactly this, and that is wonderful. Yes, and yes, it does. There is a bond and a closeness, that inner part shared. That's the stuff. And that's great. It's a lovely warm moment. But I do. When the lesson's over and I'm on to the next thing, I won't say erased, but it's very compartmentalized. I think this is a very significant thing, and this is one of the things I want to express much better than I am doing now. See, performing has been an intensely private thing one has to do in public. And so I've had to sort of clothe it in a mantle of exuberance and showmanship to conceal the vulnerability, really. Because that comes to me more naturally than wishing to express what I want to express, as it were, or wishing to share what I want to share. I'm sort of embarrassed. It's a sort of almost a deflection. Yes, I want you to hear what I have to say, but, cheerfully waving kind of thing. And it's a very interesting question, which I need to think about. I envy a number of my colleagues. Their names are on my lips, but I feel it's imprudent, probably. But it might be arrogant for me to think that they don't have such feelings. But I can think of people who just seem to play uncomplicatedly for the pleasure of it. They can read through a piece, mug it up, repeat it a few times, and off they go. And I rejoice in that, and I feel that that's how it should be, but it never has been for me. I've not been able to do that. And there's a sort of feeling, Anthony, sadness perhaps, possibly, that I should have been able to do it, but something in me blocked it, or didn't allow it at some level, or didn't actually want it.